Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And on today's show, I'm pleased to have, before the CIAC Boys Tournament begins for Divisions 1 through 5, got to have the CTC champion for Abbott Tech, Coach Anthony Simone. And, Coach, I know you've been with the program for over 10 years. It's great to be able to have you on, and congratulations on winning the CTC Championship against Prince Tech.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
First and foremost, before we get into them, it's great to be able to have, because I typically don't have a lot of players or coaches from the Tech area, and try my best to reach out to get as many people as I can. But Coach, you've been with the program for many, many years. Not to put you on the spot, but would you say that, this is one of the best teams that you've had during your tenure with Abbott Tech?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's one of our best teams that we've had. We've had some very good teams in the past. Our league has changed over the years. There was times when we had public schools in our league, like Bassick and Harding and Capital Prep we had, and Classical and some of those other schools. And now, it's all technical high schools. But from, top to bottom, with our upperclassmen to go along with our, underclassmen, this is definitely, one of our better teams for sure.
Now, when I think about championship teams, I think about, and every sport is different. In baseball, it takes a couple years to kind of win, your division, win the league, the AL, the NL, et cetera, and then obviously the World Series. NBA, and then football, same thing. It's kind of it's a maturation. It takes time. For you, Coach, like, how far back? I mean, did this start out when these young men were freshmen, sophomore? I mean, take me into kind of the build of this team.
Yeah, I mean, we're led by our seniors, and our two seniors, Tony Aversano and Carlos Madera. They've been with the program, now for 4 years, and they've worked extremely hard with our other upperclassmen, and they have created the culture for our underclassmen to see the work ethic it takes. They're a motivated group. They want to win. So it's been nice because as all coaches can say, the last couple of years for these upperclassmen and for these seniors has been challenging. Last year, like many other teams, our season got cut short. Then when the year before, no postseason. So it's just, they came in on a mission this year to make the most of this season, because they got to see how quickly it could get canceled. And I'm just happy for them that they were able to fulfill their goals. And now with the states, we have more goals to achieve as well.
Now, I know you said to me, Coach, that when these players were freshmen, that they lost to Prince Tech. You said it was in the championship, correct?
Correct. We lost by like 40.
Okay, so, and the reason why I bring that up is because now you fast forward to now their senior year, and I know going through the cancellation of the CIC state tournament because of COVID, and then having the league tournaments, and for some teams not even having one because of COVID and just having to miss it entirely. The reason why I bring that up is, sports kind of comes in full circle. I mean, it's always going to challenge you. Like, you guys lost by 40 your freshman year to them, their freshman year. Well, you had their opportunity. They had their opportunity to get payback, to be able to say, hey, we've gotten better. We've improved. We have to show that we've made the strides. Was that something that you told them prior to that game? How, hey, remember freshman year? Don't forget that.
I don't even think I had to tell them. I think they already remembered that, and it was already engraved in their memory. But Prince is a great ball club, and they have a ton of talent. And but those they knew, they remembered, and it really didn't take much of me to say that. Hey, do you remember back to freshman year?
Now, Coach, I know, every league has kind of a different brand of basketball. I know in the Berkshire League, for the some games that I was able to cover for Nanawag, It's a little bit more of a slow paced, methodical offense. Really kind of go through your offense. You know, if you love defense, the Berkshire League is pretty known for that. NVL is more athletic, high speed, super freak athletes. I mean, they have one player for Naugatuck, Essianic Poma, who I coined when he made a dunk, Essianic Dunkia, because he can just slam it. I mean, he's
Yeah, I'm
just
familiar with him.
yeah, he's just he's like a pogo stick. He jumps and he doesn't even have to jump and he just flies, dude. It's crazy. But the reason why I bring that up is, coach, is that every league I feel like has a kind of like a different brand of basketball. So the CTC, what kind of brand of basketball is that?
I mean, I think every program's different. I know for me to speak on about what we play here at Abbott, we're trying to get up and down as well, but
Mm-hmm.
play control, play smart. And we want to play, on the defensive end, we want to play solid team defense. But it's hard for me to comment on the other schools because some teams play faster than others. Some teams, depending on your personnel, you want to play maybe a little slower. But we want to get up and down. We want to run. We want to use our athleticism and our talent that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, really make it challenging for the opponent to score.
At what point this season, coach, did you feel like that this team had the it factor? Like they had something that could potentially bring them to not just a championship, but maybe even further in the playoffs. What kind of, at what point of the season did you feel like this team has, like I mentioned, had that it factor?
I think we gained confidence throughout the year. We opened up with two good ball clubs playing Immaculate and Bethel, and then we had a tough loss to Guilford by 2 about a month or so ago. And, it was a game that we were right in. But I had confidence, I had confidence going into this season with the group of kids that I knew that we had, and the talent that we had and the work ethic that we had, that we would have a good shot at, having a very successful season.
And you spoke about you playing Immaculate. Now, you said you went to Immaculate, correct?
Correct. I did.
And I'm assuming you played for the basketball team, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so was your head coach Nelson Menachos?
No, he was actually my JV coach.
Oh,
I
really?
had Coach Bob Nelson when I was there.
Okay, so but you had him as a JV coach. I've had him on here, and beyond the fact that he's got some of the best hair in the business, he is probably one of the best coaches I think the state has ever seen. And I don't think he's ever talked about for what he's done on the soccer side, which now he's retired from, and now he's focusing on basketball. But for what he's done for the basketball team since taking over as the head coach, man, I don't know if you've kept track with them, but he just
Oh
does
yeah,
yeah, he does
he's done
wonders.
an unbelievable job, and yeah, I'm very close to Coach Mangachos
Mm-hmm.
still, and yeah, he's the legacy he's carried on is amazing, and Immaculate's very lucky to have him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's done an awesome job.
What is it, just to stay on him for a second, what is it about him that just, because I see that he's able to make rocks into diamonds. I mean, and not to say that they have ever, they don't have bad players. I'm not trying to say that. But what I'm saying is he's able to mold and help these players grow from their freshman year to senior year, where there's never a player that stays stagnant. They always make improvements one way or another. How is that?
Just think, he runs a great system. A lot of stuff that, when I was there, he's carried on and transformed to, this day and age, and kids buy into the culture and they work hard. And, when you have kids that want to work hard and want to learn, that goes a long way.
Was there anything that you've taken or took from your time from Immaculate and kind of implemented that either from Coach Mangachos or from whoever from your time Immaculate? Did you, do you carry any of that into now being, as you have for over 10 years, as the head coach at Abbott Tech?
Well, my teammates then are still, my best friends till this day. And I think it's important to have that family feel to your team, that that pride to play for one another, that pride to play for your school. I think all that is very important, to be an unselfish player, to love your teammate. That's, something that I've really tried to implement here. And that's something, when I was successful over there with my teammates, it didn't matter who scored. It didn't matter who got a base hit in baseball. We just wanted to win. And here, this group of players and seeing guys come back all the time, that family component is very important to me. And I think very important for a program that will, to do well for a program, is to have all that.
Coach, how difficult is it that because obviously, and we talked about this before, that there is a stigma when it comes to tech schools. See it during football all over the internet, and it's a shame because kids see that and they shouldn't have to. And it's disgusting that what some people said, like, oh, the tech team should not even be allowed in the playoffs. And that's just, for another day. But still, the point is, and what I'm asking you, Coach, is that, and I meant for football, how difficult is it, Coach, as far as trying to not only try to overcome that, but then trying to overcome, I know there's only so much that you can do, control what's inside the program and such, but trying to overcome stuff like that that's outside, because kids see that and they hear that, and sometimes they can take it to heart.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible stigma, to be honest, because, I know I can't speak for every school in the league, but, with us and Prince and, schools like Wyndham and, Bullard and some of these other schools, we're trying to compete, we're putting in the time just like other teams, other coaches. But then there's this, the stigma, oh, you go to a tech school. I mean, our tech schools are amazing. You have an opportunity when you graduate to work in a field that's going to pay you very, very well. And then if college is another, opportunity for you, or an option that you want to go down. I mean, we have kids that go to colleges just like you would at a public school. I'm a guidance counselor here, and I had the senior class 2 years ago. I had kids get into UConn. I had kids get into Seton Hall and Fordham and Central, just like they would anywhere else. So I like to think of it as you have the best of both worlds. And then, if you go to a tech school, you can't play in college. It's not true at all. It's not true at all. If you're good enough, schools are going to find you. If you do the right things and you play for the right programs to go along, with your off season, and you go to the right camps, and they're going to find you if you're good enough. So that stigma does bother me, because I think it's gotten so blown out of proportion.
No, I agree with you. I see it during, on my side for the NVL, when I see the Waterbury schools, when people kind of poo-poo them when they face the Valley schools, and just in general, because football in Waterbury has not really been that good for, as far as the public schools are concerned. It hasn't been as strong for a little bit. There's been spurts and there's been some consistency, but overall, and like it, the kids shouldn't have to hear that. They shouldn't have to see that, because, they're putting in the work, like you said, on the basketball side, like they're putting in the time, and to have to hear that from people who are a lot older, and, I don't know. I don't think it's right,
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Now, Coach, to get back as far as on the Abbott Tech side, now we know that the playoffs start in just a couple days. I know you guys have a bye because you're the number 2 seed. Now, is that the highest seed you've ever been as far as with the program?
Yeah, that's our highest seed for sure.
Okay. So that's just another, like you said, kind of checking off the boxes when we spoke earlier. That's just another check. You got the championship in the CTC. Check. Number 2 seed. Check. Now, next one is make a run to the sun. Waiting for that check.
Correct. That's the next goal.
Without giving up too much, we were talking about kind of the teams in the division and such. Are there any teams? Are you familiar with some of the teams? I know there was one team we were like, oh, I don't know them much. I know you didn't really know them too much. Is there anybody or any teams that you're like, okay, maybe have to watch for them potentially? Got to watch for them. Anybody in particular?
I mean, I don't want to overlook anybody. I think, for us right now, we need to be focused and get ready for Wednesday, whether it's Platt Tech or Rockville. But I think there's a lot of good teams in Division 4. We've played a couple already, and we're not in any position as a team to overlook anyone.
I think it's pretty good as far as for the division that there's a lot of tech schools in there, because I think it shows, to kind of go back to what we said, that just look at the amount of tech schools that are there that qualify, that have opportunities to be able to make a potential run to Mohegan Sun. I think that bodes well for the conference. No?
Yeah, for sure. And there's also, we have the tech schools, we have Bethel now in our conference in it locally that they're playing Bullard Havens. So we have the tech schools, we have Bethel. So there's some familiar foes in there.
Yeah, and then you got Nanawag from the Berkshire League as well, who
Mhm.
plays in the first round game too, who you may see depending on a deep run, and then if you guys can make it to the Sun and such. Coach, it's great to be able to have you on. Before I let you go, for people who may not have seen any Abbott Tech games yet, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that haven't, at least in certain parts, and hopefully that they'll have an opportunity to be able to check those games live. What can people expect from your team during this, let's hope, deep playoff run?
You're gonna expect a team that's gonna play hard for 32 minutes, and a team that's gonna get up and down as much as they can. And then, like I said before, on the defensive end, really try to suffocate defensively and just compete and play hard.
Is there any shout outs, coach, as far as to fans, players, coaches, family, whoever, as far as because I know, I may not be able to have you on again until potentially you being in the final. So is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to really quick?
I just want to thank everyone that has supported us along the way, not only just this season, but over my 10 years. It's always great to see everyone come back and show their love, and hopefully we can continue to make them proud and continue to work hard for them. And there's a lot of rich tradition and rich history in Abbott Tech basketball that goes back to the 50s when they were one of the state powerhouses. So that legacy is something that's important to our program.
Coach, it's great to be able to have you on, and best of luck in Division 4 when your playoff road, I should say, starts on Wednesday. So good luck.
I appreciate you for having me on.
No problem. That'll wrap things up here in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Town. I'm on journey to find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.